When it comes to former President Donald Trump, unprecedented is a term that's getting some wear and tear. And most recently, Trump took unprecedented to a whole new level after being the first current or even former president to ever be indicted by a federal grand jury. This all stemming from illegally retaining classified documents in his Mar-a-Lago home. And you might remember that this is his second indictment this year alone, the first happening in New York back in April over hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Trump could be on the hook for even more criminal charges. Special counsel Jack Smith is looking into January 6th, while Fulton County, Georgia DA Fani Willis is deep into her investigation into his attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. But while all of this is unprecedented for a U.S. president, are we normalizing this behavior? And what does it mean for our country's future? Joining me now is Douglas Brinkley, presidential historian and a professor of history at Rice University. Douglas, it's an honor to have you on the show this morning. Straight out of the gate, here's the first question. A former president criminally charged in two separate cases and facing the very real possibility of even more indictments. A lot of people are comparing it to Nixon and Watergate, but let's be frank, it's so much worse. Nixon was eventually pushed out of office under bipartisan pressure, but today's GOP just cares about the win. So how is history going to remember this moment in time?
Well, for all of Nixon's sins, and there were many, he in the end did the right thing and he stepped down. He capitulated and said, I'm not above the U.S. Constitution. And Nixon had amassed a record of whether it was visiting China in 1972 or his détente with the Soviet Union, creating of the Clean Air Act and Clean Water Act, Environmental Protection Agency, on and on. There was this great record with President Trump. He's really been a revolutionary, incendiary political figure since he went down the elevator. He's representing a populist movement, which is anti-government. The enemy to the people in Trump's mind is the FBI, the Justice Department, the IRS. And so you really can't compare Trump. There are all the other presidents that are in this president's club, and you can rank them, and we do. And then there's Donald Trump on this island of all by himself, having indictments virtually every couple of weeks being levied against him.
And, you know, Douglas, you kind of took the words out of my mouth, because I was just about to say you really can't compare, in true framing, Donald Trump to other U.S. presidents in our history. But isn't that the real problem then here? By electing somebody like Donald Trump back in 2016, did the concept of, quote, fitness for office become some kind of disgusting race to the bottom?
Well, you know, George Carlin, the great comedian, used to say, in America or in a democracy, you get the leadership you deserve. If Donald Trump's what we deserve, boy, we have done some bad things in the United States. I mean, because his whole MO is trying to divide the nation, put us in little separate fiefdoms, do away with the rule of law. He's by nature a dictator. He has an authoritarian bent. He never really was a business person in the sense that you had to answer to a board of trustees. He was always a one man, one vote family business guy. And so there's no democratic impulse in Donald Trump. And so, you know, we've got to get rid of Trump and Trumpism if we want to have the kind of democracy Franklin D. Roosevelt talked about in the Four Freedoms speech, on which he put what we fight for in the world of freedom from fear and freedom of expression, freedom from hunger, freedom of religion. There used to be a great public service, civic-minded optimism in America. Better days are always in front of us. Now people feel the best is behind us. And so we're in desperate need for new leadership in this country, at least at the level of the White House.
Let's take a comparative view, if you'll humor me for a minute, Douglas. Interestingly, since 2000, former world leaders have been jailed or prosecuted in at least 78 countries. A few brief examples: South Korea, Peru, for example, not to mention the current Vice President, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, in Argentina. Why is it so shocking, then, for the pursuit of accountability from our United States president?
I think because we believed we were the city on the hill, as Ronald Reagan used to talk about, that there was an American exceptionalism, that we were the beacon of light in a very troubled world, that our democracy was the emulation of countries far and wide, that we were the country that ran free and fair elections. And for all of our difficulties and lumps, in the end, the United States was a nation of immigrants where everybody's voice counted and one person, one vote. All of this is seeming to be in jeopardy. We are now being looked at by the rest of the world as having a kind of nervous breakdown. Can you do business with the United States? How do you do a deal with Joe Biden if in 2 years something as radical as Donald Trump's back in office? And so I'm afraid that we're living in an age of unpredictability, what you call the unprecedented era, and Donald Trump is the fly in the sherbet of our times.